A very good evening. You're watching News 9 with me, Akshita. Well, in a major boost to India's fight against black money, Switzerland has prepared a list of Indians suspected to have stashed untaxed wealth in Swiss banks, and the details are being shared with the Indian government. The names of these Indian individuals and entities have come under the scanner of the Swiss authorities during an ongoing exercise to identify real beneficiary owners of funds held in various banks operating in Switzerland, according to a Swiss government official. And we understand that the list has been shared with the Indian government, details of which have not been furnished, considering that there is a confidentiality clause that is agreed upon by both the countries. However, the government has made it very clear that they are more than willing to work in close hands and close cooperation with Narendra Modi and co. And this being a first step in what could look as a big breather of sorts for the SIT, which is investigating the black money issue. And well, after a series of meetings yesterday with AICC President Sonia Gandhi, the fate of chief ministers like Prithviraj Chavan, Bhupendra Hooda and others hangs in the balance. Here's an update on who could possibly be shown the door. Even before the general elections, it was made clear that Congress CMs would pay the price if the party did not perform well in their respective states. And living up to its promise, several chief ministers of key states might face the axe. Even as speculations continue on what could happen to Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, there still exists a large amount of curiosity on whether Haryana Chief Minister Bhupendra Singh Hooda and Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan will be given a second chance. After meeting with Hooda just yesterday, the top brass of the Congress hinted that the Haryana CM may not be replaced, but there still exists an air of uncertainty. Considering that the Haryana Congress leaders are gunning for his head, the central leadership may give in to the pressure. Haryana Congress President Ashok Tanwar has threatened to quit if Hooda is given another chance. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan has done all he can to ensure he isn't made to step down. Chavan had reportedly told Sonia Gandhi that NCP's opposition had existed for years now and it was nothing new. Congress has now sent observers to the state, and their report will in all likelihood decide whether Chavan will stay or go. It is being said that on June 28th, the Congress leadership will decide on whether Chavan will be replaced. Tarun Gogoi to meet Sonia. Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, who has been in a world of trouble due to the dissidents in the state Congress, will be meeting with the ICC President Sonia Gandhi tomorrow. Sources suggest that Gogoi will be made to put in his papers and he may not fight the order either. Well, the Congress seems to be counting on the rejig to give the party a facelift. Considering that both Haryana and Maharashtra will be going to polls in a few months from now, the party is doing all it can to change its prospects. But is firing CMs the way forward? A News9 report. And in a shocking incident, the DRDO regional director of Orissa was attacked by a 15-year-old boy in Hyderabad today. The minor attacked the official with a knife at the busy Charminar area. Here's what happened.
Teen attacks DRDO official with a knife. These were the shocking scenes witnessed today in the Charminar market area of Hyderabad. A high-ranking official of the DRDO was brutally attacked by a teenager with a knife. The DRDO regional director of Orissa, Satyapati, was in Hyderabad to attend a conference arranged for defense organizations' employees. Following the conference, he was on a family outing near Charminar. But even as Satyapati and his family were having a gala time, he was brutally attacked by a teenager. The 15-year-old boy stabbed Satyapati after attempting to pick his pocket. The incident took place near Mecca Masjid in Charminar area of Old Hyderabad. Satyapati was immediately rushed to the nearby Osmania hospital. He has suffered minor stab injuries and is said to be out of danger. Police have registered a complaint and are investigating the matter to find out if there is more than what meets the eye in the case. A News9 report.
Well, the standoff between Campacola residents and BMC officials continued for the third day today. Despite efforts from the officials, the residents remain adamant on not vacating the flats. Here's a report.
इथं कुठल्याही फ्लॅट मध्ये एंट्री करणार नाही आम्ही. कुठलंही डिमोलिशन नाही, ती तयारी सुद्धा नाही, ऑर्डर पण नाही तशी आम्हाला कुठल्याही. मला एक टास्क दिलेला आहे, सर्व्हिसेस कट करा आणि रिपोर्ट करा. त्यासाठी आम्ही रोज येतो आणि जो पण टास्क पूर्ण होत नाही तो पण मी रिपोर्ट करू शकत नाही. त्यामुळे त्यांना 2 दिवस समजावून सांगतोय, तर मी हात जोडून मी रिक्वेस्ट केलेली आहे.
Yes, the Deputy Municipal Commissioner got down to pleading the residents of Campacola apartment. Today was day 3 of the struggle. For the third straight day, residents of the Campacola apartments did not let the BMC and police officials enter the compound despite several requests and pleas. Finding no relief from the Supreme Court, the residents have now sought the intervention of the President. They have written a letter to President Pranab Mukherjee seeking mercy on humanitarian grounds.
The BMC officials have to do what they need to do, but there are cases here. You've just seen a woman faint. You've seen a senior citizen who says she wants to commit suicide. 4 people have died. 6 people are in hospital. There needs to be a humanitarian plea. The culprits are the builders and the BMC officials 30 years back, and you're penalizing these citizens today. There has been a mercy petition which has been filed to the President only requesting, come up with solutions. If you want to demolish and rebuild, if you want to forfeit some part of the land, if you want them to pay penalties, they are open to all. But please show some mercy when there are so many senior citizens, so many people who have died.
Even as a case was filed against the residents for obstruction of duty, they still remain undeterred. And now, the police and the BMC officials are mulling over using force to perform their duties.
तो हम 2 दिन से उनको मनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो नहीं मान रहे हैं और गेट बंद करके वो हमको विरोध कर रहे हैं. हमारी कार्रवाई में रुकावट डाल रहे हैं. वो बहुत बड़ी गलती कर रहे हैं. वो समझ नहीं रहे उसके बारे में. हम बल का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, पहले दिन भी कर सकते थे, लेकिन हमने थोड़ा संयम रखा, उनको समझा के वो हम देखते थे कि भाई एंट्री मिल जाए. लेकिन अगर वो ऐसे सी तरह से नहीं मानते तो हम अपना अगला चरण उठा सकते हैं.
The residents have been living here for the last 30 years and are being forced to bid goodbye to their sweet home. Several residents have even given suicide threats to the officials out of fear of losing their homes. And now that their chief minister has ruled enacting a law to bail out the owners, residents have sought respite from the president. With all this happening, one wonders why Campacola is being the only targeted apartment complex in Mumbai. Why are the residents being made to vacate despite them being willing to pay penalty? While Mumbai has numerous other skyscrapers now, why is there no respite for these residents living here for over 3 decades? A News9 report.
Well, trouble seems to be the latest ally of the Modi Sarkar as NDA allies are resenting the proposed hike in train fares.
A day after NDA's close allies DMDK and MDMK expressed their resentment over the increased railway fares, it was the turn of Shiv Sena today. Shiv Sena chief Uddhav Thackeray, one of key allies of BJP, has demanded for an immediate rollback in the increased railway fares. Terming the fare as shocking, Shiv Sena chief said,
"The fare hike is shocking. Sena MPs will follow up the issue to ensure that hike is called off. I will speak to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and request him to roll it back. If it's not possible to withdraw it, then at least reduce it."
Mumbaikars using the local trains will be the worst affected since they will have to shell out twice the amount they are spending currently once the fare hike comes into effect.
कोई राजनीति नहीं चमका रहे. शिवसेना को मालूम है कि लोकल मुंबई के अंदर करीब 1.5-2 करोड़ लोग रोजाना किसी न किसी बहाने यात्रा करते हैं. आज उनके ऊपर चोट पर चोट होती जा रही है. बढ़ा हुआ डीजल का किराया, पेट्रोल का किराया और अब रेल के लोकल का किराया बढ़ जाना. शिवसेना जरूर राजनीति कर रही है, लेकिन अब शिवसेना की भी औकात पता चल जाएगी कि एनडीए के सहयोगी होने के बाद उनकी राय को माना जाता है या नहीं माना जाता है, और अगर इस बात को नहीं माना जाता तो ये पांचवी ऐसी राय है जो शिवसेना की नहीं मानी गई और शिवसेना ने सार्वजनिक रूप से अपनी बात रखी और फिर पुनः मुश्को भव हो गए।
Uddhav Thackeray's reaction comes a day after NCP decided to stage demonstration against the fare hike. Ahead of the assembly elections, Shiv Sena was left with no option but to lash out on government's move. This is the second time in a row that Shiv Sena has come out in the open against BJP's decision. Earlier this month, both the parties had a tussle over Maharashtra's chief ministerial post. Meanwhile, Congress is busy protesting across the cities. Congress workers in Bhopal continued with their protest against the price hike in railways. The party workers blocked railway tracks and also burnt the effigy of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
जो हमारे सहयोगी हैं उनको भी अपना पक्ष हम बताएंगे, लेकिन जो रेल के हित में और देश के हित में जो निर्णय करने होते हैं वो हमारी सरकार कर रही है।
Modi government continues to remain defiant even as both the opposition and allies are mounting pressure on the government for a fair rollback. A News9 report.